Pages read when you're not there. Turn the key, the shadows talk back. Midnight rings you if you're dead. One more line, one more flight into the weird unknown. It's out tonight, and the rainbows of
Somewhere in a room crammed with rockets that never launch, clocks that run backward, and typewriters that dream, one man still dares to imagine what tomorrow forgot. You are about to enter the unseen visions of Ray Bradbury. Tonight, another lost wonder awakens. This is SL Tonight, Bradbury's Unseen Visions. Good evening, watchers of empty roads, and welcome to SL Tonight, where we stand at the quiet end of Ray Bradbury's masterpiece, The Illustrated Man. I'm Felix Lebesky, your host for Bradbury's Unseen Visions. Tonight, we reach The Highway, written in 1950 when Bradbury was 30, living in Venice, typing in a library while Marguerite worked. Inspired by Route 66 journeys and the Korean War's sudden shadow, he imagined the apocalypse not with bombs, but with silence. This is Bradbury at his most tender and terrifying. The end of the world seen from a Mexican road shack. Let's stand by this last highway. The cooling afternoon rain had come over the valley, touching the corn in the tilled mountain fields, tapping on the dry grass roof of the hut. In the rainy darkness, the woman ground corn between cakes of lava rock, working steadily. In the wet lightlessness, somewhere a baby cried. Hernando stood waiting for the rain to cease so he might take the wooden plow into the field again. Below, the river boiled brown and thickened in its course. The concrete highway, another river, did not flow at all. It lay shining, empty. A car had not come along it in an hour. This was, in itself, an unusual interest. Over the years, there had not been an hour when a car had not pulled up, someone shouting, "Hey there, can we take your picture?" Someone with a box that clicked and a coin in his hand. If he walked slowly across the field without his hat, sometimes they called, "Oh, we want you with your hat on!" And they waved their hands, rich with gold things that told time or identified them, or did nothing at all but wink like spiders' eyes in the sun. So he would turn and go back to get his hat. His wife spoke. "Something is wrong, Hernando." "See, the road. Something big has happened. Something big to make the road so empty this way." He walked from the hut slowly and easily, the rain washing over the twined shoes of grass and thick tire rubber he wore. He remembered very well the incident of this pair of shoes. The tire had come into the hut with violence one night, exploding the chickens and the pots apart. It had come alone, rolling swiftly. The car, off which it had come, had rushed on as far as the curve and hung a moment, headlights reflected, before plunging into the river. The car was still there. One might see it on a good day when the river ran slow and the mud clear. Deep under, shining its metal, long and low and very rich, lay the car. But then the mud came in again and we saw nothing. The following day he had carved the shoe soles from the tire rubber. He reached the highway now and stood upon it, listening to the small sounds it made in the rain. Then suddenly, as if at a signal, the cars came. Hundreds of them, miles of them, rushing and rushing as he stood by and by him. The big, long, black cars heading north towards the United States, roaring, taking the curves at too great a speed. With the ceaseless blowing and honking, and there was something about the faces of the people packed into the cars, something which dropped him into a deep silence. He stood back to let the cars roar on. He counted them until he tired. 500, 1,000 cars passed, and there was something in the faces of all of them. But they moved too swiftly for him to tell what that thing was. Finally, the silence and the emptiness returned. Swift, long, low convertible cars were gone. He heard the last horn fade. The road was empty again. It had been like a funeral cortege, but a wild one, racing, hair out, screaming to some ceremony ever northward. Why? He could only shake his head and rub his fingers softly at his side. Now, all alone, a final car. There was something very, very final about it. Down the mountain road in the thin, cool rain, fuming up great clouds of steam, came an old Ford. It was traveling as swiftly as it might. He expected it to break apart any instant. When this ancient Ford saw Hernando, it pulled up, caked with mud and rusted, the radiator bubbling angrily. "May we have some water, please, senor?" A young man, probably 21, was driving. He wore a yellow sweater, an open-collared white shirt, and gray pants. In the topless car, the rain fell upon him, and the 5 young women packed so they could not move in the interior. They were all very pretty, and they were keeping the rain from themselves and the driver with old newspapers. But the rain got through to them, soaking their bright dresses, soaking the young man. His hair was plastered with rain, but they did not seem to care. None complained, and this was unusual. Always before they complained of rain, of heat, of time, of cold, of distance. Hernando nodded. "I'll bring you water." "Oh, please hurry," one of the girls cried. She sounded very high and afraid. There was no impatience in her, only asking out of fear. For the first time, Hernando ran when the tourist asked, always before he had walked slower at such requests. He returned with a hub lid full of water. This, too, had been a gift from the highway. One afternoon it had sailed like a flung coin into his field, round and glittering. The car to which it belonged had slid on, oblivious to the fact that it lost a silver eye. Until now he and his wife had used it for washing and cooking. It made a fine bowl. As he poured the water into the boiling radiator, Hernando looked up at their stricken faces. "Oh, thank you," said one of the girls. "You don't know what this means." Hernando smiled. "So much traffic in this hour. It all goes one way, north." He did not mean to say anything to hurt them, but when he looked up again, there all of them sat in the rain, and they were crying. They were crying very hard, and the young man was trying to stop them by laying his hand on their shoulders and shaking them gently, one at a time, but they held their papers over their heads, and their mouths moved, and their eyes were shut, and the faces changed color, and they cried, some loud, some soft. Hernando stood with the half-empty lid in his fingers. "I did not mean to say anything, senor," he apologized. "That's all right," said the driver. "What is wrong, senor?" "Haven't you heard?" replied the young man, turning, holding tightly to the wheel with one hand, leaning forward. "It's happened." This was bad. The others at this cried still harder, holding on to each other, forgetting the newspapers, letting the rain fall and mingle with their tears. Hernando stiffened. He put the rest of the water into the radiator. He looked at the sky, which was black with storm. He looked at the river rushing. He felt the asphalt under his shoes. He came to the side of the car. The young man took his hand and gave him a peso. "No," Hernando gave it back. "It is my pleasure." "Thank you. You're so kind," said one of the girls, still sobbing. "Oh, Mama, Papa, oh, I want to be home. I want to be home. Oh, Mama, Dad," and others held her. I did not hear, senor, said Hernando quietly. The war, shouted the young man as if no one could hear. It's come, the atom war, the end of the world. Senor, senor, said Hernando. Thank you for your help. Goodbye, said the young man. Goodbye, they all said in the rain, not seeing him. He stood while the car engaged its gears and rattled off down, fading away through the valley. Finally, it was gone, with the young women in it, the last car, the newspapers held and floated over their heads. Fernando did not move for a long time. The rain very cold down his cheeks and along his fingers and into the woven garment on his legs. He held his breath, waiting, tight and tensed. He watched the highway, but it did not move again. He doubted that it would move much for a very long time. The rain stopped. The sky broke through the clouds. In 10 minutes the storm was gone. Like a bad breath, a sweet wind blew the smell of the jungle up to it. He could hear the river moving gently and easily on its way. The jungle was very green. Everything was fresh. He walked down through the field to his house and picked up his plow. With his hands on it, he looked at the sky, beginning to burn hot with the sun. His wife called out from her work, "What happened, Hernando?" "It is nothing," he replied. He set the plow in the furrow. He called sharply to his burro, "Burro!" And they walked together through the rich field, under the clearing sky, on their tilled land by the deep river. "What do they mean, the world?" he said. That was The Highway, the story that hushes from Ray Bradbury's love for the overlooked. In 1950, he was 30, living in Venice, typing while Marguerite worked, Route 66 journeys fresh in memory. It lampoons his career. Pulp doomsday turned imminent, his pulp roots maturing into critiques of denial. Writing this in one night after a dream, he drew from his wife's calm strength and his fear of sudden ends. Behind the scenes, Doubleday paid him $750 for the book, a fortune then, but Bradbury refused Hollywood cash to keep his visions pure. It's a window into what drove him, the fear that apocalypse comes not with fire, but indifference, a theme that echoes the 1960s support for civil rights, seeing everyday people fight for a future worth reaching. Ray Bradbury, the visionary behind The Highway, turned a road into a requiem for the world. The story asks, who notices when everything ends? Join us next time for SL Tonight as we keep unearthing literary shadows. Like, subscribe, and good night.
Rockets resting in green afternoon light. Typewriters dreaming all through the night. A smiling sun hangs on a cardboard sky, where the future got lost but never